Another day, another story. Nostradamus was a 16th century seer. He and his prophecies, revered by some, ridiculed by others, are still well known today, centuries after he lived, and continue to be the subject of debate. Nostradamus was born in France in 1503. Welcome to Tabo Eminent Channel. He first worked as a physician and began his medical practice in the 1530s, although he did so without a medical degree. He began making prophecies about 1547, and he published his prophecies in a book entitled Centuries, 1555. He wrote his prophecies in quatrains, 4 lines of rhyming verse. The quatrains were grouped in hundreds. Each set of 100 quatrains was called a century. Nostradamus gained notoriety during his lifetime when some of his predictions appeared to have come true. Nostradamus became famous in his own lifetime for publishing a long series of prophecies which continue to mystify, intrigue, and, frankly, exasperate us to this day. The fact that he wrote in enigmatic poems, or quatrains, means that his words can be endlessly reinterpreted to fit historical events. This makes trying to assess his accuracy a notoriously tricky thing to do. But what if we really squint and give him the benefit of the doubt? Did Nostradamus get anything right? He was highly sought after and was even invited to the court of Catherine de Medici, then the queen consort of King Henry II of France, to create horoscopes for her children. Writing 450 years earlier, the French astrologer seemed to have predicted the end in, for him, unusually date-specific terms. The year 1999 7 month, from the sky shall come a great king of terror, shall be revived the great king of Anglemois. Before and after, Mars shall reign as chance will have it. Nostradamus's predictions tended to be about general types of events, like natural disasters and conflict-related events that tend to occur regularly as time goes on. Some people believe that his prophecies have predicted actual events, such as the death of Henry II, the French Revolution, the rise of Napoleon, the rise of Adolf Hitler, and the 9/11 attacks. Key points about Nostradamus and his prophecies. Life and background. Nostradamus was born on December 14, 1503, in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, France. He studied medicine and eventually became a physician. Later in life, he turned to astrology and began writing almanacs, which gained him some fame. The Prophecies, his most famous work, Les Prophéties, was first published in 1555. It contained a series of predictions in the form of quatrains, 4-line verses. Nostradamus used a mixture of Latin, Greek, and French, along with cryptic and symbolic language, making interpretation challenging. Vague and ambiguous, Nostradamus's prophecies are often considered vague and open to interpretation. Critics argue that the verses are so ambiguous that they can be applied to various events after the fact, and therefore lack concrete predictive value. Themes and symbols. Nostradamus used a variety of symbols, allegories, and metaphors in his verses. Some of his predictions are said to refer to historical events, natural disasters, and even figures like kings and leaders. Interpretations often involve a degree of speculation and imagination. Accuracy and misinterpretations. Over the centuries, people have claimed that Nostradamus accurately predicted events such as the rise of Adolf Hitler, the French Revolution, and the 9/11 attacks. However, many of these interpretations are subjective and often involve stretching the meaning of the quatrains. Skepticism. Scholars and historians generally view Nostradamus's prophecies with skepticism, attributing any apparent accuracy to coincidence and retroactive interpretation. The lack of specificity and the broad range of events that can be retroactively linked to his verses contribute to the skepticism. Popularity and controversy. Despite skepticism from scholars, Nostradamus gained widespread popularity during his lifetime. His almanacs were well received and his reputation as a seer grew. However, he also faced criticism from some religious authorities who viewed astrology and prophecy with suspicion. The prophecy of death. Nostradamus is often associated with a supposed prophecy of his own death. Legend has it that he predicted the date of his demise in a letter to his son, stating that he would live until the age of 70. He died on July 2, 1566, just a few days before his 63rd birthday. Some argue that this was a self-fulfilling prophecy, as he may have altered his behavior based on his prediction. Interpretations through the ages. Over the centuries, Nostradamus's prophecies have been reinterpreted in the context of various historical events. Different generations have claimed that his verses predicted everything from the rise of Napoleon to the assassination of John F. Kennedy. Each interpretation reflects the concerns and interests of the time. Literary legacy. Nostradamus' influence extends beyond the realm of prophecy. His writings have inspired numerous works of literature, art, and even music. Many writers and artists have drawn upon his mysterious and enigmatic persona to create fictional accounts and imaginative narratives. Modern-day interest. Nostradamus continues to be a popular figure in popular culture, especially during times of global uncertainty. His prophecies are often revisited and discussed in times of geopolitical tension, natural disasters, or other significant events. Books, documentaries, and online forums dedicated to analyzing and decoding his quatrains persist. Critical examination. While believers argue that Nostradamus had genuine prophetic abilities, scholars and historians emphasize the lack of specificity in his writings. The vagueness of the quatrains allows for broad interpretations, making it challenging to verify the accuracy of his predictions objectively. The process of prophecy. Nostradamus claimed that his prophetic visions came to him through a state of deep meditation and trance. He often used a bowl of water or a mirror to aid his concentration. He referred to this process as scrying, where he would gaze into the reflective surface to receive divine insights. Coded language and anagrams. Nostradamus intentionally used cryptic language, and some believe he employed anagrams and wordplay to encode his prophecies. This has led to various interpretations and efforts to decipher hidden meanings within his verses. Critics argue that these interpretations often rely on subjective manipulation of the text. Unfulfilled prophecies. While some proponents point to instances where Nostradamus seems to have predicted historical events, critics emphasize the many unfulfilled or unclear predictions. The vagueness of his quatrains makes it challenging to conclusively link them to specific events, and some argue that his writings are more open to broad interpretation than accurate prediction. Political and social climate. Nostradamus lived during a tumultuous period in European history marked by wars, plagues, and political upheaval. His prophecies are often seen as reflections of the anxieties and uncertainties of his time. Some argue that his verses can be interpreted metaphorically to capture the broader themes of the Renaissance era. Posthumous publications. After Nostradamus' death, his son published several editions of his prophecies with additional material. Some believe that these posthumous publications may have been altered or added to, leading to questions about the authenticity of certain quatrains. Legacy in popular culture. Nostradamus has left a lasting impact on popular culture. His name is often invoked in discussions about the supernatural, and his prophecies are referenced in literature, movies, and television shows. The mystique surrounding his persona has contributed to his enduring legacy. Continued debate. The debate over the legitimacy of Nostradamus' prophecies persists. In summary, while Nostradamus and his prophecies continue to capture the public's imagination, the accuracy and validity of his predictions remain highly controversial. His work is often seen as open to diverse interpretations, and many scholars emphasize the need for caution when attributing specific events to his cryptic verses. The story of Nostradamus and his prophecies is a tapestry woven with elements of mysticism, historical context, and the perpetual quest for understanding the unknown. Whether seen as a seer with genuine foresight or a skilled wordsmith capturing the spirit of his time, Nostradamus continues to captivate the imagination of those intrigued by the intersection of history, prophecy, and the enigmatic. Thanks for watching. Request you to subscribe the channel.